I am back already. I don't think it's been very long, but I have a bunch of stuff to show you, so I will. I got a big haul today, and well, big for me anyway, not big for some of you guys. And yeah, so let's get into it. First, I will show you my fail. So I saw in the Cross Stitch Crazy magazine, which none of you guys have mentioned, but I actually quite like. I found an alphabet, and I thought it would be nice to make like a tag for the diaper bag so that people would know it belonged to my daughter. And so I made this. So letter D. But as you can see, the color, well, let's bring it back up here. As you can see, the colors are not really great. You can hardly see the D, and I made mistakes in the pattern, and it looks like crap. And I used fabric and hand-dyed floss that I got in the Stitchy box, so I kind of wasted it, but I mean, so it goes. It's a learning process, right? So that's my fail. I have an FFO, which is a unicorn, and I decided to backstitch her in DMC satin, I think what it is, because she blended in with the background too much. So I haven't gotten around to actually drilling a hole in the wall in the nursery to add it, but I will someday. Okay, and then my whip, which will also be an intro to the haul, is that blue-haired girl. And I got scroll frame bars that are actually long enough, and it makes the scroll frame pretty enormous. But let's see if I can kind of brace this. Right here. I'm almost done this page. I just have a couple more colors to go. Then I'll get onto this page over here. So that's my blue-haired girl. I'm hoping to finish that page this week. And then another look at my lap stand. I've got it set up so that it's higher up because I'm quite tall, and this is a good setting for my height. However, every time I flip it over to do stuff on the back, it loosens the screws, so I have to retighten it with a screwdriver, so that's kind of annoying. I'll work on my starting and finishing on the front, see if that helps. I already use pin stitch quite often, especially for confetti. So that's my whip. Oh right, and my other whip is the turtle pincushion by Blimey Cat Stitches. And here it is so far. I think there was a mistake on the pattern. She put a symbol in the key that does not actually show up on this part of the pattern, but there was a, so I just used, I assumed that it was actually for a symbol that does show up that wasn't in the key, if that makes sense. But even if I'm doing it wrong, I think it looks okay. I should really email her to let her know about the problem, but I haven't gotten around to it. So if you see this, Brittany, you might want to double check the pattern to make sure that it all lines up properly. Okay. Yeah, that's my whips and finishes and fail, and now the rest of my haul. Okay, I went to my L&S. I got the scroll frame bars, and I got a bunch of other stuff. Let me see here. So I got Be Joyful by Country Cottage Needleworks. You know, I've been watching you guys make the cottages, like cottages of the month. I'm like, oh, those are nice, but they're not really my style. Oh, those are really pretty, but they're not really my style. Oh, those are nice, and I want to stitch them. But I don't really want to commit to that many projects, so I looked through what else Country Cottage has, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I like bees. I'm not really a fan of like samplers and stuff with words on it, but I like bees, and I think it would look nice in my kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to give that a try eventually, and I got the stuff to go with it. I got lamb's wool, linen in 28 count, And I think I got a fat half, which is way more than I need for that, but if I do any more country cottage stuff, it's pretty much all on that, or I can always use it for something else. My mom always taught me to buy way more supplies than you actually need because running out really sucks. And I have run out a few times and it does suck, so I buy extra as a rule. I also got the tribal wine glass pattern, which is another one that I want to do for my kitchen. So my kitchen is going to be pretty decorated. But you know, there's not actually very much wall space in my living room. It's mostly taken up with like bookshelves. So if I want to display stuff, it kind of has to be in the kitchen or like the stairwell or my bedroom or whatever. So anyway, and I got, let's see here, let me get organized. I got the colors, the specialty flosses to go with Be Joyful. So I've got Pink Posy, Pink Champagne, and Grasshopper. They're very nice colors. So, and then I got some more purples. I got one kind of purple a while ago, thinking it was for my wine glass, and I thought I wanted this color, although I haven't checked, but I think I may have accidentally just ordered two more of the same color I already had. Oops. Because I could have sworn this had some green in it. But anyway, that'll do for the wine glass, probably, unless I change my mind. Then, because I was at the store, and oh right, and I also ordered some Easy Count. So I'll give that a try. I've just been using sewing thread for gridding, and it's terrible. You know, you all know what the problem with that is, and it's not good. So I'm going to give that a try next time I do a project, or next time I start a project. And because I was at the store, and you can't just, you know, go and look at things without buying, like, extra pretties. Like, I just looked around for pretties. I got, this is Carrie's Creations. I haven't heard of it before. And it was cheap. And look, it's beautiful. And they only had, like, 6 colors. But you get 8 yards, and it's silk. And I think it was, like, $3 or something. I think it was really, really cheap. Where did it go? Yeah, $2.95. That's Canadian. So for you American people, it's like $2 or something. Ugh, exchange rate, am I right? So I got that, and it's beautiful. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but it's mine. It has like all my favorite colors in it, pink and purple and that kind of seafoam green. Love it. And I also got Weeks Dye Works that has a bunch of colors in it. Again, I don't know, but I figured, what the hey? Oh, somebody is calling me. That's okay. I will put that aside because I will deal with that later. Okay, and I got a thread organizer. My LNS is called Traditional Stitches, in case you're, you know, not really all that observant. So I think I'm actually going to put the colors I use most often for the blue-haired girl onto this because my little cardboard things are getting destroyed from frequent use. Okay, I'm checking my list. And yes, that's all my haul. Now I'm going to do the Know Your Needleworker tag because you guys, I don't know, I haven't done a tag yet. And I do like to hear, like the really long tags I'm not interested in, but the short ones are okay. Alright, where do you live? I live in southern Alberta, Canada. I supposedly live fairly close to my LNS, but I live in the southeast of my city, and the LNS is just outside the northwest of my city, and it takes about an hour or an hour and a half if you decide not to follow your GPS and use your own route and wander around the city and end up downtown during lunch hour, which I did, yeah. Anyway, every time I try to take a shortcut, that's how it works out. All right, what do I do for a living? I don't work right now. I am raising my baby. prior to taking mat leave, I worked at a call center, and I also taught ice skating lessons. I taught circus school for a while too, but that kind of fizzled out and I stopped doing it, even though I loved it, but it was complicated, so we'll just leave it as that. Do I have any other hobbies? That brings me into some other stuff I wanted to show you. I have some other crafts. I have tons of hobbies. I haven't been doing most of them. Like I said, I've been involved in the circus arts. There's a really old video of me juggling if you want to go back into my archive. I hula hoop and unicycle. I'm probably going to get into unicycling again this summer because my husband wants to get back on his unicycle, and he had to stop for a while for health reasons, but he's ready to go again, so hopefully we'll do that. I've done a bunch of other circus stuff, but those are my favorites. And other current hobbies that I'm doing is some quilting, which you've seen my stocking. I just made this quilt block, which I don't really know anything about quilting, and I'm told that I made my pieces like really, really tiny. And normally you would do this bigger. And this is actually, I'm testing out a pattern. I think I might make this with like really big pieces so that it's like a bed-sized quilt, because I really want one, but I've seen them for sale, but usually people only charge a few $100s for them, and I don't feel like that's fair, knowing how long it takes. Like, you're basically paying yourself nothing, and I don't agree with that. I think craftspeople should be making at least minimum wage. Like, really, honestly, I think more when I make stuff on like a, what's the word? Anyway, when I make stuff for people, which is very rarely, I charge like $15 or $20 an hour. Although minimum wage here, I think they're raising it to $15 an hour soon anyway, but I think craftspeople are highly skilled and should not be making pennies an hour. So I don't really feel right about buying quilts that are cheap, and I can't afford to buy quilts that are expensive, so I need to, make my own. And something I just learned a couple weeks ago is Métis finger weaving. Now, I'm not Métis as far as I know. I mean, my family's been in Canada for several generations, so chances are there is some Native American blood, but none that's been like acknowledged or official. So, but I heard of this workshop, and they were good with anybody showing up. You didn't have to be Métis or have a Native background. So I went, and I learned some finger weaving, which is basically multi-strand braiding. It's weaving with like no equipment. You just have a dowel at the top of your to attach all your threads to, and you do everything with your hands. It's pretty cool. Look it up, because what I'm about to show you is, it's child's play compared to what you can actually do with it. So this is a 6-strand braid. This is 12, and this is 24. I don't actually know what I'm going to do with any of this stuff. I don't have any plans to work on it in the future, but I collect skills, especially relating to fiber arts. I can spin, I can sew, I've done a little bit of weaving. My mom had a loom, although once I moved out I didn't do anymore because I didn't have access to it. I sew. I think that's about it for now. I've done leather work. I have a bunch of tools for that too. I have really more tools than someone who doesn't do this as a career needs. I have an industrial sewing machine, and I just got a domestic sewing machine. I have a hand press. I have a big stash of fabric and some leather. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't actually done most of those hobbies for a while, just, because of life. But I can do all that stuff. And right, and I tat lace. And I have some that I could show you, but I left it in the other room, and I don't want to get up. So that's That's that. Right, next question. Do I have kids? Yes, I have a daughter. She is now 4 months old. Do I have pets? Yes, I have 2 rabbits. Their names are Fuzzles and Honey. Maybe next time, if you're interested, I will try to get them on camera so you can see them. I also have an aquarium that currently has 2 fish, a frog, and a mystery snail, as well as a ton of trumpet snails. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't really, since my pregnancy made me super allergic either to the rabbits or to their hay, I don't know, but anytime I, go near them or sit down with them or whatever, I'm sneezing for the rest of the day, which is sad. I love my rabbits. They're so cute, but it's not good for me. Maybe, once I'm allergic to the world in the spring, because I get spring fever or hay fever, I'm on antihistamines all the time anyway. We'll see if I'm able to be with them more. But all right, next. Favorite movie? I don't really have one. Recent movies that I really, really liked. The Martian. I love it. It was so good. I listened to the book on an audiobook a long time ago, and it was excellent, and I wasn't sure how the movie would turn out, but it's so good. And I just love the fact that a movie with no explosions, no sex, and no violence. Well, okay, there are explosions, but not like, ridiculous explosions. But it is nothing like any of the other movies that Hollywood has been producing for as long as I can recall. And it's been so successful, and I love that. And I hope they make more movies in that vein. I also really like the new Star Wars. As for older movies, I love The Labyrinth, David Bowie. I love 80s fantasy movies, the ones, the ones with Muppets and stuff, Dark Crystal and Willow, and that's about it. There was also Legend, which wasn't as good as the others, but I still like it. I love those ones with practical effects. I think they're awesome. Yeah, that's probably enough favorite movies for you guys. Favorite TV show? I really liked Strong Medicine until the last season. That was a medical drama from the 90s. I really like medical dramas in general. I like Grey's Anatomy. I like House. I like Scrubs. I guess that's not really drama. That's more of a sitcom, but Strong Medicine is my favorite of those. Other favorite shows. I like Community. I like Drop Dead Diva until they got rid of, Fred or whoever, her first angel. Her new angel was really boring, and so I stopped watching once he got on there. I like Angel. I like some of the seasons of Buffy. I like Firefly, although I am not a Rabbit fan. It's not my favorite Joss creation. I've watched a little bit of Doctor Who, but the first episode I watched was the Van Gogh one, and it was just amazing. I think it's generally regarded as one of the best episodes from what I've seen of the fandom. Not that I'm that involved with it, but that was the first one I saw. So then every episode after that I saw was just kind of a disappointment. Like, it really set me up to think that the show was amazing. And I mean, it's okay, but it's not as good as the Van Gogh episode. So I have watched a little bit of that, but I wouldn't call it a favorite. Trying to think of any other favorite shows, but none come to mind. I do watch quite a bit of TV during the day when the baby's around. She goes to sleep more easily if she can hear voices. And sometimes I read to her, just, whatever I happen to be reading. I don't really read kids' books, but she's too young to know the difference anyway. But if I don't want to do that, I'll turn on the TV. I've been watching Heartland, which is kind of cheesy and ridiculous, but it's filmed, takes place and filmed very close to where I live. So that's kind of cool because all the landmarks and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I've been there. I know where that is. And when they show money on the show, it's Canadian money, which is all exciting because you don't see that on TV very much. So yeah, favorite music genre, swing music, I guess. I used to be really into swing dancing. I would really like to get back to that, except the dances generally don't start until like 9 p.m. and I go to bed at like 8 because I'm tired and I'm boring. So I would like to go, but the hours just aren't working for me. Maybe someday when I'm all old and can get more than 3 hours of sleep at a time, I'll go back to that. Other music, I don't know. I like classic rock. I like classical okay too. I'm pretty good with a lot of stuff. I can take almost anything in small quantities. I couldn't listen to like an hour of like techno music and be happy about it, but I can listen to 1 or 2 songs, like stuff like that. So yeah, I guess swing music, like big band, jazz type stuff, and classic rock are my favorite. What's my favorite book? Again, I don't have a single favorite book. I haven't actually been reading a ton lately. I don't have the attention span for long form reading. I read a lot of articles and blogs and stuff. I've been rereading the Jean Auel's Earth Children's book. I'm on to Mammoth Hunters. And, I'm really not liking John Lur very much this time through. I kind of wish Isla would hook up with Rannick. Spoiler, she doesn't, but, well, I mean, she does, just not permanently. Oh, so that's fun. I like Tamora Pierce books. They're for teens, and that's when I started reading them. My favorite of hers that I've read, I haven't read any of the, probably haven't read any in any of the new ones in the last 7 years, but I really like Will of the Empress. I think that's probably one of my favorite books. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. I mostly read nonfiction. I guess I liked the Martian book too. Fuzzy Nation by, I think his name is Scalia. That was really good too. That's all I can think of right now. I do like to read, I just don't read a lot of. I'm so picky too. If I feel like I don't want to waste the time reading something if I don't know for sure that I'll like it, so then I end up just rereading the same stuff over and over again. But anyway. Last question. What is one word that describes you best? I don't know. I hate these things. People say I'm really creative, and it's true that I create things, but I usually follow patterns, so I don't feel like that really counts. I recreate things. I don't make stuff up out of my head all that often. Well, I used to be really into writing fiction, so then I did, but I mean, it was still kind of archetypical. It's not a word. Anyway. I just wrote sword and sorcery sort of stuff that wasn't really all that, nothing really revolutionary. Yeah, that's how people usually describe me. I don't know if I agree with that, but and I'm kind of a weirdo, just in general. So that's all for that tag. I don't think there's anything else that I need to say. Baby's asleep, so I'm gonna go do some more, put all this stuff away, and maybe do some needlework if she stays asleep long enough. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.